Before the sun came up this morning, unmarked cars had surrounded this Motel 8 in Cromwell, Connecticut. FBI agents, local police, all gathered here, waiting for word from New Haven's police chief. They knew the arrest warrant was coming for 24-year-old Raymond Clark III. The lab technician who worked in the same building where Yale grad student Annie Lay did her research. He was inside a motel room here with his father. Authorities got the green light shortly after 8 this morning. Immediately, barricades went up on the highway in front of the motel, and a team of FBI agents raced up the back stairs, straight to room 214. There they found Raymond Clark in a white shirt, tan pants, and soon he was wearing handcuffs. Hidden behind tinted windows, he was brought into the New Haven Police Department.
Hey, big man. Enjoy jail.
A few minutes ago, Raymond J. Clark III, 24 years of age, of Middleton, Connecticut, was arrested at a motel in Cromwell, Connecticut.
And then, just 2 hours after Clark's arrest,
all right, this is number 15, Raymond Clark.
He was arraigned in court in the murder of Annie Lay. When asked if his rights had been read to him, he said clearly, yes. ABC News has learned authorities have been closely following Clark for days. The surveillance began not long after Annie Lay's body was discovered hidden behind a wall panel in that Yale building last weekend. A team of investigators watched over Clark as the lab technician went on with his everyday routine, reportedly playing softball, going to a fair, and visiting his parents' house. First quietly following him, then the surveillance soon became more overt, as Clark quickly became the primary person of interest. Authorities had been poring over the images from 70 surveillance cameras in that research building and had begun to sift through nearly 300 pieces of evidence. Among the most crucial, we're told, are the access cards used to get into the building and from room to room once inside. The Hartford Courant is reporting tonight that after entering the building the day she disappeared, Annie Lay passed through the basement and then swiped her way into a separate lab room. Her card was never used again. It's now believed Clark swiped his way into that room too. It might have been the last person to see Annie Lay alive. ABC News has also learned Clark was in and out of that building 10 times or more in the hours surrounding the disappearance, in rooms he normally wouldn't have entered.
They need something to link.
Renowned forensics expert Dr. Henry Lee served as state police commissioner in Connecticut. Now he runs his own forensics center at the University of New Haven. He helped advise the forensics team working this case in recent days and says those access cards have provided a timeline inside that lab building on the last day Annie Lay was seen alive, revealing any opportunities a suspect would have had to harm Annie Lay. What could those swipe cards tell us?
They tell us they have a means and opportunity, these two going to be together.
And there are reports of the swipe cards, put them both in that room,
sure,
the last room where she was.
That's become a very crucial information.
And sources tell us there were also emails or text messages between Clark and Lay. That Clark at one point had complained to Lay about the condition of the mice cages in the lab, that they'd been left dirty. It was his job as technician to clean them. In those messages, he suggested the two of them meet. Authorities would not say if the communication went beyond that. And after days of following Raymond Clark, Tuesday night detectives moved in with a warrant to obtain DNA samples from Clark, from his hair, his fingernails, and a swab from his mouth. They tried to question him, but he quickly invoked his rights to an attorney, offering little to investigators. And then 3 a.m. Wednesday morning, they let him go. Criminal experts say it's not uncommon to let a prime suspect go after questioning. It allows the investigation to continue at a far more rapid pace.
Clearly, once you go into custody, all of your rights kick in, and that can obviously stop certain parts of the investigation.
And there was one more thing police were waiting for, the DNA. Last night, with Raymond Clark clearly the prime suspect and yet still a free man, the New Haven police chief said it would take just one thing.
If we have one match on a person that we know was at that location, we will be going for an arrest warrant.
There were clothes found hidden in the ceiling, bloody surgical gloves, and a bead from Annie Lay's necklace on the floor. Sources say a sign of struggle. And then this morning, Dr. Lee learned of the arrest. When you heard of that arrest this morning,
yes,
did that say to you right away there must have been a DNA match?
Yes, I know DNA had a match. And of course, it's a relief.
Tonight, Raymond Clark has been moved to a maximum security prison in Suffield, Connecticut. And New Haven's police chief continues to believe there was only one killer in this case. The chief said today that Annie Lay and Raymond Clark never had any kind of romantic relationship, describing Lay as a PhD candidate and Clark as a lab technician who would pass each other in the hallways. Today, the family of Annie Lay's fiance, the man she was supposed to have married last weekend, released a statement saying, "We want to thank all of those who were involved in preparations for a wedding that was not to be, for their quiet understanding. Annie will live in our hearts forever." I'm David Muir for Nightline in New Haven, Connecticut.